Submarine cables carry 99% of the world's internet traffic. Satellites often get credit, but real internet speed and stability rely on thick cables running under the ocean. These cables are the silent backbone of the modern internet. Every message, video, or file you send to another continent usually moves through one of them. The story of how your data crosses oceans begins deep below the waves. So the global internet depends on reliable, high-capacity infrastructure. Submarine cables provide that infrastructure better than any satellite system. These cables handle huge amounts of data with much lower latency than satellites. Businesses, banks, governments, and even casual internet users depend on these high-speed links. Each cable can carry terabits of data every second. The demand for streaming, cloud services, and international connectivity continues to grow, fulfilled through these cables. Submarine cables now stretch over 1.4 million kilometers across the seabed. These cables connect continents like arteries in a digital nervous system. Every major economy relies on them to function smoothly. But how are these cables built? Cable engineers design submarine cables to survive extreme underwater conditions. Each cable includes multiple layers for strength, insulation, and protection. The core of the cable carries optical fibers that transmit light signals. Surrounding that core are protective layers made of gel, copper, steel, and plastic. The entire structure must resist pressure, salt water, and sea life. Cable makers manufacture these cables in long, flexible segments. Each fiber strand within the cable can carry massive volumes of data using lasers. Laser pulses represent binary data that travels along the fiber optic path. Engineers label and test each section before deployment. These cables must perform perfectly before installation begins. Next comes laying the cables under the ocean. Specialized ships lay submarine cables across the ocean floor. The process begins with detailed mapping of the seafloor using sonar and satellite data. Marine scientists and engineers choose routes that avoid deep trenches, fault lines, and human activity. Cable ships load thousands of kilometers of cable onto massive spools. The ships slowly release the cable while traveling along the planned route. Mechanical tension systems keep the cable from snapping during deployment. The cable is buried under sand in shallow waters for protection. Deep ocean segments often remain exposed but safe due to their remote location. This careful deployment ensures signal integrity and durability. Now let's talk about how signals are transmitted through fiber optics. Fiber optics use light to transmit data at nearly the speed of light. Each cable contains multiple fiber pairs that operate simultaneously. Transmitters on land convert digital data into light pulses. Optical amplifiers along the cable boost the signal as it travels. The light pulses represent binary code that computers translate at the destination. Signals travel thousands of kilometers with minimal loss thanks to amplification. Modern systems use dense wavelength division multiplexing to increase capacity. This method allows many light signals to travel through one fiber using different wavelengths. The result is a massive increase in bandwidth and speed. Now the question is, who owns these cables? Private companies, telecom giants, and international consortia own most submarine cables. Big tech companies like Google, Meta, and Microsoft invest in new cable routes. Ownership gives them control over speed, access, and data privacy. Multiple companies often share ownership to reduce costs and expand reach. Each party handles maintenance and monitoring responsibilities for their segment. Telecom operators manage regional access to these global systems, while international agreements govern the use and installation of cables. Global cooperation ensures cables remain functional and secure. However, it does come with challenges. Cables face constant threats from the natural world and human activity. Fishing nets, ship anchors, and underwater landslides can damage them. Earthquakes and volcanic activity can also snap or shift cables. Damage often causes regional slowdowns or complete outages. Engineers use signal monitoring systems to detect faults quickly while repair ships locate the break using GPS and underwater robots. Technicians pull the cable to the surface for repairs. They splice the fibers, test the connection, and lower the cable back down. The entire process may take several days depending on the location. The vast underwater web of cables keeps the modern world running. Every text, video call, bank transaction, or search result likely passed through a cable deep beneath the sea. The world depends on this invisible system to stay connected, informed, and alive online.